Hello and welcome to another edition of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
And I'm Bill. And I'll start us off with our sport business moment.
Okay.
So, the 49ers are opening a Topgolf suite at Levi Stadium. Now, it's not going to face the field, but it's going to be part of this David Mina's tailgate area. David Mina is a famous chef, and he's got this tailgate area and restaurant at the 49ers at Levi Stadium. But they're going to put in this Topgolf, it's called the Topgolf Swing Suite, with a golf simulator and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll run, I won't say 365, because it probably won't be open on Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's, but it's probably open every other day of the year. So it's another movement now on creating these interesting spaces at venues so that it's a year-round business. So you're justifying the investment in a stadium and you're trying to make things make a lot of sense.
Okay.
And I also saw that the Atlanta Hawks are going to put in swing suites when they remodel their stadium, which I think is going to be in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, well, they have.
So you're trying to turn the venue into a destination. Like a lot of places, and we did one yesterday. A lot of places have tours that bring people into the ballpark. So we took a tour yesterday when we were at Petco. There's probably 30 people in our tour, probably maybe 35, all probably paying $25 to $30 plus a game ticket to take a tour of Petco Park. And most of the fans were Angels fans because, they come down and follow the team. They're from out of town. There's people there from Japan because of Otani. And so, it's a business. And the Cowboys really were good at it with Jerry's World. And so a lot of these other places now have all tied into it, created a year-round tour business. So this is just one more thing now, this tour, this swing suite, and we'll see what else people come up with. But I just get ideas, an interesting idea.
Now, would they have discounted parking on non-game days if you're just going to go to the golf suite?
They might even have free parking on
or free parking, days. Yeah. So no, I mean, because on game days you're paying, $20 minimum probably to park there.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money.
You can also rent it out on a game day if you want. You can rent it out any time. It'll accommodate 8 adults.
Okay. That's not bad. I mean, like you said, it turns them into a longer business, year-round business. It makes a lot of sense, obviously, making money year-round.
Their VP of sales said Levi Stadium was designed to be a relevant year-round attraction for the Bay Area. In addition to Topgolf will be a great complement to the annual calendar of events and daily activities already programmed for the venue. Because Levi Stadium already has a Hall of Fame, and and they already do tours, and you can actually combine the tour with a visit to the Hall of Fame Museum and now Topgolf. I mean, you can spend an entire day there not doing anything related to a football game.
It's true. Is that shared with baseball, or is that a separate stadium up there?
No, it's just football stadium.
Oh, okay.
And then the Michael Mina's restaurant is open year-round. So also it drives people then maybe come to dinner and maybe rent the Topgolf suite. So a lot of things you can do.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
So I think we'll see more and more of those kind of things. People trying to figure out how to use their stadiums and venues for other than the games and a few concerts a year to try and drive the traffic there weekly, if not daily.
No, that makes sense. Happy hour and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Get some swings in, have some drinks, eat some wings, or whatever else they serve there. Well, even though it pains me to say it because I don't really care about golf, I mean, obviously the big story this weekend was golf. Tiger Woods.
Well, you could say it was golf, but you could also just say it was Tiger.
Sorry, it was Tiger, yeah.
So the PGA Championship had over a 6 rating for the first time in, I think, more than 10 years. Probably the last time Tiger played in it. And it just goes to show that no matter how we look at these young stars coming up, the Jordan Spieth, the Ricky Fowlers, the Dustin Johnsons, and all these guys, that they're not, as good as they are, they're not Tiger Woods. And Tiger Woods still is a compelling story.
Certainly. But, I mean, you could argue that there's, I mean, where you put him in the pantheon of great NBA players. Like, Jordan is clearly above and beyond every player playing today, almost on some level, from marketing, Jordan shoes, Jordan brand. But the NBA hasn't suffered the way golf seems to suffer when, I know there's a little dip after Jordan, but I mean, it seems like once you get a new round of exciting young players, everything's back to where it was, if not better. Whereas golf has, like you said, I mean, tons of exciting young players. Now, granted, nobody quite as dominant, but at the same time, like, they also have learned from Tiger, too, which is, they're into the fitness and the diet, and, their parents are putting golf clubs in their hands with their little kids again, so it's not,
No, he's had an amazing impact on the game. And, he just drives television ratings and a live attendance. So, I mean, he really has an impact, really has an effect. So I imagine now we're going to see Tiger in the Ryder Cup. And then those ratings will be off the charts.
Yeah. And I've never understood, because I've always felt like as great as he is as a golfer, he has the charisma of a golf ball. Like,
yeah, he's not a great interview. I mean, he's open. He's much more open than he was.
Certainly. But even like in his heyday, like he was always, I found him to be incredibly boring. And not just because I wasn't a golf fan. I'm like, he's not, I don't know. I mean, there's been other sports where I follow, they don't really follow the sports, but, whether it's soccer or tennis, where they've got some incredibly charismatic, fun interviews. And I never thought, like a John McEnroe, if you will. Whereas Tiger Woods never seemed to have that, to me anyway. But he still seems to capture people in some other way that I don't.
Some way, agree.
And I don't, because I did.
But I think all the golf people were very, very happy this week. All the sponsors, TV networks, and especially the Ryder Cup people with that coming up.
And sports talk show, because now they all get to talk about, is Jack Nicklaus's record back on the table?
Yeah.
Because he's only 42, so he's still
second.
It's 2 weeks in a row he finished,
2 strokes off.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row in a major tournament where he was in it.
Well, since you opened the door on bad interviews.
Yes.
Well, since I'm out on the West Coast, I did watch Barry Bonds' number being retired, and was extremely nauseated. Not being a big Barry Bonds fan to begin with, but Barry Bonds pointed out that he built AT&T ballpark because he's the star that played there. Willie Mays and Willie McCovey never played there. They built Candlestick, but he built. He said, "I built," is what he said. He said, "I built this park, and this is my park."
Oh.
And I thought that just sucked. And then Willie Mays actually said that Barry should be in the Hall of Fame. And that, I know it's his uncle or godfather, whatever he is.
Yeah.
But that struck me as a little crass as well.
Well.
But I have to admit, I hate Barry Bonds, so I'm biased.
Right. And I obviously feel like, there's plenty of people, I don't know if they cheated in the Hall of Fame, plenty of, there's, Baseball Hall of Fame is insane, so you might as well just put him in anyway. Give him the asterisk like everybody says, that he was caught. So then I assume...
I still want to make us he's a jerk.
Because the discussion has been brought up, because he did have quite a career in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he did.
Would you be against them retiring his number in Pittsburgh?
Yep.
Okay.
I still like him. I mean, I have no rational reason. I don't like him. And that's good enough for me. You don't earn my vote unless I like you.
Yeah, it seems like, and again, we won't go too. Well, actually, today might be slightly more Pittsburgh-focused show because we have a guest from Pittsburgh later, but that the general consensus of Pittsburgh is if you have to quit, if enough people say no, then you don't retire his jersey, and there's clearly enough people saying no to Barry Bonds, no matter how great he was for the Pirates. So, now baseball-wise, I guess because we are finally getting down the home stretch here. Is it just the Red Sox and everybody else? Because they're...
I don't know. I mean, Red Sox are unbelievable. The Cardinals have the best record in baseball right now over the last 30 days. And Matt Carpenter is going off. I always say, Jason, it's the hottest team coming into the playoffs.
And the Red Sox are going to have nothing to play for going down the stretch, yeah.
If the Red Sox aren't being pushed and they start resting people and they lose mojo, who knows? I mean, right now they're so far in front of everybody else. You would just assume it is the Red Sox and everybody else, but I'm not willing to go there. The A's are playing just unbelievable baseball. They continue to win every day.
Yeah, not that, I mean, obviously, I guess my But if I had to pick one of the two teams of the Red Sox, Yankees, it would be the Red Sox just based on where we lived and the people we know and Red Sox fans. But that Yankee series, was kind of the last chance for them to put a little pressure on the Red Sox, and it didn't happen. Obviously,
Yeah.
it was some
The
really
Red
good
Sox have better
games.
pitching. The
Yeah,
Red Sox have better pitching than the Yankees.
right. And even
So
when
I mean,
healthy,
that's what's going to be
it's
something.
almost a wash hitting wise, I would think. 'Cause,
I don't know. The Red Sox are more consistent.
yeah, I mean, I guess they don't have
The
that.
National League, Cubs.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
no,
know. The Astros seem to run in a little slump in the American League. They lost, I think, 7 in a row at home. And they've got great pitching and great players, so we'll see. They'll rally back. We'll see. But I think the Astros, Red Sox will be a great series.
indeed.
We'll see.
Well, I guess we'll just keep topic hopping. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, well, we can stay on baseball. I can put Al on for a little bit. Al can talk about his experiences in Anaheim and San Diego and what he saw.
Sure.
We saw probably the greatest. We saw the SP winning play, I think, in baseball. We saw the throw in person the other night. So I'll let Al have it. You can ask Al some questions.
All right.
And I'll come back on.
Sounds good. So we're going to be joined by a longtime family friend, Al. Are you there?
Yep.
Ah.
Come on, Jace. Shoot.
And Al is obviously from Pittsburgh too.
Right. Right.
Which
Born and
obviously,
bred.
yeah, born and bred. So you got to see a couple of games this weekend, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And Anaheim and down here in San Diego.
And I guess before we get to the baseball itself, what do you think of the actual parks?
Oh, they're beautiful. Since I go to a lot of games in the PNC, you get used to what they have there in Pittsburgh, and so you can compare. And PNC really, in a lot of areas, doesn't compare. Like the access, the parking, the vendors, just the amenities that these two parks have here on the West Coast. They do have it all over PNC, but actually, I think an area where the PNC kind of does better than them is just the atmosphere from your seat. I mean, there's times when you sit in PNC Park and it's almost like you just feel so just relaxed by just seeing what you can see. Now you have to have certain seats at PNC Park.
Of course.
The upper deck, the second level, facing out toward the outfield. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful sight. Now these other two parks, I mean, it's nice. They have this nice view, but I think again, the view you get at PNC is better. So I think in that area, I think PNC, and they talk about different parks and they talk about which parks are beautiful, which parks are the best, and all that. And PNC's rated up there, and I think a lot of it has to do with that. These announcers and TV people sit behind home plate, and they get to see that view all the time. So, it's well worth it. It's well worth the experience.
And you saw what my dad says is already going to be the SB for at least best baseball play.
Yeah. It's odd because I was actually talking at the time. We were sitting at a table kind of behind home plate, and I saw the hit, and I kind of turned my head, and I saw the catch, and then everybody screaming, and I thought the throw was actually cut off, but then we saw the replay, and here it was a direct throw all the way from left center field, right on the money to first base. I mean, it was like a Clemente throw, is what I told your dad, and so. You don't see too many of them from that distance and that accurate. So, it's up there. I haven't seen, the other possible options they have, but I can't imagine a throw in the outfield is going to be better than that this year.
No, neither can I. Well, we have a couple of normal Sutton family traditions when we're on here. We try to each have a food moment every week. So if we've got somewhere we think that we would recommend, it could be anywhere that you've had, just a restaurant you've been to recently, what you had and what made it special, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, when we were in Anaheim, we took a trip to San Diego here, to La Jolla, and we went to the Italian restaurant. What's the name of that? Cafe Milano. Yeah. Again, your dad with his recommendations and food, so. we went there. Actually, walked in. It was early, and there wasn't very many people there. So it wasn't like it was overwhelmed with a busy crowd, which isn't a good sign, I guess, when you first go into a restaurant. But the guy was tremendous. He was probably the owner slash cook slash busboy, and very friendly. He did some recommendations, talked about the food. So we all ordered, and I ordered it was like a seafood Italian compilation, and I tell you, it was out of this world. It was really good. Lobster, clams, mussels, shrimp, the whole works. Sauce was great, and everybody at the table. I don't know if your dad's going to talk anything more about it, but it was just we all had a good dinner. Put it that way. And desserts, we couldn't pass up dessert. Your dad got a couple desserts for the table. Again, tremendous. So if you or anybody are out here in San Francisco area, there's definitely a restaurant you want to hit up.
Oh, definitely. And that's just a beautiful area in general. I mean, a very expensive area, but a very nice area.
Exactly.
And then we always have our entertainment of the week. So we talk about what we're watching, reading, or listening to that's got us most excited currently.
Oh gosh, let's see. Watching, I don't have anything at the moment that I'm a big fan of. Nothing. Eating, I'm pretty basic on that, and we don't go out a whole lot. That's one thing I like going out with your dad and your mom. It's like we hit up some different restaurants, which is always fun. And let's see, reading, I couldn't help you there either. I'm not that big of a reader, so there's really nothing that's on the agenda for me to kind of read or hook up and talk about. So can't help you on that one, Jace.
That's all right. And I guess just because we have you on here, I mean, even though we probably know what it's going to be, do you have a Super Bowl prediction for the year?
Super Bowl prediction for the year. That's a good one. Let me think about that for a second. I always like to hear of an up-and-coming team. I don't like to pick. Well, first of all, I'm not a big fan, just a fan of the Patriots. That's always the obvious pick. Steelers, I'm a hometown guy on that. But they have too much drama for me, and I don't think a team with that much drama can do well in the playoffs. Let me see. Jacksonville, perhaps, a dark horse. And believe it or not, I think New Orleans has a shot.
Oh, yeah.
I think New Orleans could make an impact this year. They seem to be sneaky good sometimes, and if they have a good year, Breeze seems to be always there. So if they can surround them with good people, I think they could make some noise for the Super Bowl this year.
And then
so
I guess
that would be my pick.
And then my last question is just because I hear this. I'm not in Pittsburgh anymore. I'm obviously in New Orleans, so I can only read the national media. But what are your thoughts on Tomlin as a coach, as of right now, and his hot seat potential? I mean, you spot up the drama, so.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you my thoughts on Tomlin. When he first came on board, I liked him. I thought he was a good coach, disciplinarian. He seemed to have a control of the team. But it seems like over the years, especially the last few years, I think the team has got control of him. I think he plays favorites. I think there's some different things that happened, with Antonio Brown in the locker room a couple of years ago, that sort of thing. There's other issues that have popped up. And he doesn't seem to do anything about it. And I think that sends a message for other players on the team. Now, I don't think he's on a hot seat, only because I think that type of behavior is typical of what you see in the NFL now. I think all the teams have that type of behavior. And, I think players now, they're into their own brand, their own product. They want to put themselves out there, so they do things. And a lot of these coaches aren't going to do anything about it because they are the stars of the team. And so, they figure they'll put up with this stuff. But I think a lot of fans, especially older fans that have been around and seen the way it was, it's hard to take that, and I think they lose a lot of respect when they let those things happen. But getting your question about the hot seat, I think Tomlin, especially with the Rooneys, his ownership, they'll stick with coaches. And again, this happened all over the NFL. It's not just the Steelers.
No, but it doesn't happen in a certain place that we don't really like.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to mention it. You're right. I think the Patriots do do hold the line, and I give Belichick credit for that. He seems to have his rules, and you don't hear about the things that happen, but I'm sure there's discipline that goes on, and even when the players talk, they mention about they're real careful what they say, because I think they know the consequences, and they do suffer consequences. Maybe we don't know about it, but the team is disciplined. You watch the Patriots play; they don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. They play well. They have great game plans. The players seem to follow them. I mean, it's a good team to watch, but I'm just not a fan.
No. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We have another guest of another family member now.
Yeah, thanks. Had a good time this week there too, Jace. Here, I'll give it back to your dad.
All right. And we're back with.
Well, we have eaten well.
Of course.
And I'll tell you, we were at Petco Park last night. When was the last time you ever had good pizza at a stadium?
I would say I've never had good pizza at a stadium.
Okay. Last night, I had pizza at a stadium. It was fantastic.
Wow. And in San Diego.
Yeah. But the food in that ballpark is the best. There's no question. That's what sets it apart from the other parks. But the pizza I had at this little Italian place in the ballpark, we had Roman pizza and Neapolitan pizza. I had a slice of both. They were off the hook. Really, really good.
Yeah, because I don't think I would even if I saw pizza, I'd be so skeptical I wouldn't even get pizza.
I walked over, looked at it, and decided I was going to have it because they do real pizza oven from Italy and everything, and it was really, really good.
See
yeah,
again.
It was shocking. And that's how I did my tweet last night. I said, shocking. I found good pizza at a stadium.
See, and that's how you get people into the ballpark.
I know.
Good food.
It's rare.
Yeah.
There's a lot of disappointed people last night, though. It was Japanese Heritage Night for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you're playing in a National League ballpark with no DH.
Oh.
So guess who doesn't start?
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah. But he did come in and pinch hit and walked. And then, I've told you how fast he is. They ran a suicide squeeze with him on third and he scored.
Wow.
Yeah. It was good.
It's very good.
And then all the Japanese and Angel fans in the ballpark, which was a sizable number, at least 50% of the crowd, erupted.
Well, that's
he's
good
like a rock
to see.
star, though.
Yeah.
They really, really like him.
And he's done a great. I think obviously he's had a really good year, but with all the pressure on him and all the potential to disappoint, he's not disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I think going into the year, we worried that would he be another international phenom that just doesn't make it over here for whatever reason. But he has, and it's been fantastic. So we heard Al's food moment, or one of them. We heard pizza food moment. Did we have any other?
Well, Cafe Milano was phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, it's one best restaurant of the year, best Italian restaurant all for 2 out of the last 3 years. It was really good. The guy was from Italy, and I talked to him on the phone before we made the reservation. Everything cooked to order, fresh homemade pasta. That was a highlight. Tonight we're going to go to a chain, but it's an upscale chain of California Capital Grill called Trulix. And it's a seafood and steak place, so I might talk about that next week. We had great breakfast. We went to the Breakfast Republic this morning, which won Best Breakfast in San Diego the last 2 years, and went to Mission Cafe on Sunday, and that's a great breakfast. If you've been following me on Twitter, I've been posting pictures of the food, so it's been out there.
And I know you posted a picture of the breakfast we had the day of the wedding.
With the 29-page menu.
Which normally is a sign that scares me. Because this menu had, souffles, German pancakes, regular pancakes, French toast, crepes, oatmeals, eggs. I mean, you think of a breakfast food, they had it. And normally when a menu is that large, you sort of worry that, if you can't, do they do, is it just like a Cheesecake Factory? It's not the bad restaurant by any stretch, but everything's just pretty average. But this place had really good.
I've never seen a menu that big with that many choices that sounded really interesting. That's what I'll give it. I mean, not only did it have a lot of choices, 29 pages, but probably 20 pages of what I would call pretty interesting food. I've never seen that many variances of pancakes or French toast or crepes. I mean, there was probably half the book was those 3 items.
Yeah.
And it was good.
And that was CC's salt and sugar?
CC's Salt and pepper, cream and sugar, I think it was called.
Yeah, salt and pepper, cream and sugar. So if you're in the LA area, I'm not sure. I think there might be more than one.
But it was amazing. And I ordered that strawberry Dutch pancake, and it was like the cherry on top of the sundae because we were already full. We just kind of picked at it, but it was amazing. We've had a great week.
Yeah.
I'm definitely at least 5 pounds heavier. I'm not happy about it, but I've had a great week.
Yes. And then I guess we have to give a special shout out to we have a new family.
We have a new family member, Linda Wang.
Linda Wang,
Sutton.
And the rest of the Wang family who were wonderful at my brother's wedding.
We had a great wedding experience. Super.
Yeah.
Beautiful venue.
Fantastic venue. And we'll obviously have Dan on the show soon to do it. We're going to do a video game show.
And you have Jeff Kaylee on the show with you too.
Yes, and our cousin Kaylee we're going to do a pop culture talk show. And
Which
see how
I
that
think would
goes.
be really good because she's really knowledgeable.
Yes, she is.
Well, tonight we're going to go see The Three Identical Strangers.
Oh, okay.
So I will, as Chase Jones, one of my former students and a good critic, told me that he wouldn't recommend that movie to anybody, but he wouldn't recommend movies to almost anyone, but this one he said is worth recommending. So I watched the trailer. We're going to go see it.
Nice.
And so we'll talk about that this week.
That sounds good. Because all I haven't watched anything. I mean, I ate with you guys and we mainly just ate at the wedding, and then, I guess a special shout out to Black Books, which is a BBC show from about 10 years ago. I rewatched the entire series on a plane,
Thanks.
back and forth to LA. It's a very good. I mean, if you like good British comedy, a little bit silly, very tongue in cheeky. It's only 18 episodes of the entire series because it's a British show, so they don't waste time with their sitcoms. You get like 20 episodes over 5 seasons, and that's all you get. Sorry we were a little late this week.
It's tough I'm still on the West Coast and Jason's back in New Orleans, so it's been tough to get on the same time zone. But next week we're going to start talking about our NFL predictions.
NFL predictions, more food, and who knows what else. So,
And I'll talk about Three Identical Strangers.
And talk about Three Identical Strangers. And I'll have watched something new. I'm positive by that. So we're going to keep it a little bit. I think we actually did hit our 30-minute mark, but we're going to keep it a tight 30 today. Thank you.
And then we owe Jacob. I'll do two bad moments and 2 great moments in sport marketing on our next show.
Yes. And again, please join the family. Contribute to us on Patreon. I know my dad's posted that link a couple of times, which is patreon.com, Sutton and Back Family Style. And please go to iTunes and rate us. Those really help. That's an easy way. It takes like 30 seconds. But the more clicks we get, it helps us get a little bigger audience and more people find us. So
Cool.
So until next week, thank you.